Leaning then, after victory against Surrey, you started off the competition with a convincing win. You've ended it with one. Maybe a shame about some of the stuff in the middle, but you must be pleased to have ended it by yeah.
Yeah, I think we said this morning when we came together and at training yesterday that actually, look, it's not been our comp so far, but actually if we can finish with a bit of a high, they're obviously a very good side. So it gives us a bit of momentum going in the 50 over comp, which is nice. Like you said, it's just a shame it didn't quite happen a little bit earlier because I think tonight really showcased what we can do when we play as a team and actually when we all come off together. Everybody dovetailed with the bat, and then the way the boys bowled, the way we fielded was a real example of what we can do. So hopefully there'll be a little bit more of that in the 50 over cup and a bit more of that in the T20s next season.
Wasn't sure if it was a frustrating thing for you guys to have played that well to almost, show yourselves how good you could have been this season. But
It is a little bit bittersweet, to be honest. When you see what you can do and what you're capable of as a group, it's a little bit like, I wish we'd have just done that a bit earlier. But that's the way that sport goes sometimes. We've struggled for form as a group, but actually towards the back end of the T20, there's been signs of people coming back into form and people bowling well, and actually the way we fielded as a unit's been a lot better as well. So hopefully that's good signs going into the 50 over stuff next week.
And with the batting, the guys at the top obviously setting the tone in the power play, that nice big opening stand, Sam Billings continuing his form, but great to see Tuanda Miye find some form at the end of this competition too.
Yeah, he's looked red hot the last three games. It's a shame he's going to the 100, to be honest, because I wish he was playing with us in the 50 over comp, but I'm sure he's going to go there and hopefully he starts the comp over there and plays really well. He's one of the best young players in the country. When he plays like that, there's not many people that can stop him, as showed against a really good Surrey bowling attack tonight.
Enjoy that yourself, getting out there and getting a few sixes away at the back end. Obviously, after a frustrating few weeks when you haven't been able to get involved in this competition.
Yeah, I think it was hard watching at the start. Obviously, been injured because it's the best time of the year, and obviously a few crowds and a bit of atmosphere again, which you want to be involved in. And I probably didn't quite do myself justice. Well, actually, I didn't do myself justice in the first half of the games that I played. So I was really determined to try and actually make my impact on a comp, even if it is in a so-called dead game. But yeah, obviously professional pride's always on the line, and you want to perform every time you go out there. So it's about time I showed up, I think.
With the ball as well, spin seemed the key. Obviously, Matt Parkinson leading the way, but yourself and Marcus as well really helped just stifle that run rate, and that brought about those wickets.
I think it was a really good wicket, to be honest. And I think it showed in their innings actually that the spin was a little bit tougher to get away. It did grip a little bit towards the back end, which was nice. But yeah, luckily we've got spin in abundance in our team, and we've got a lot going into next week as well for the 50 over comp. But yeah, it's just nice to get a win on the board again, have that winning feeling, and sing the same song again.
Like you were saying in your previous interview, obviously being bottom of this group and bottom of the championship, it's been a tough season for you guys. But looking into that one day cup competition with a bulk of this team available, plus a couple of others, just how are you feeling going into that? Are you feeling a bit more optimistic?
I think I was always pretty confident. Sports, it goes in ebbs and flows as a team, and there's going to be times where you don't play as well as you want. And unfortunately, that's been where we've been for the majority of the season, if we've been honest. We've probably come off second best a lot. But actually, we're starting to compete in games now, and there's signs of people coming back into form and a few lads coming back from injuries. Hopefully, we'll have Dennis back in a couple of weeks. I think Bayers and Grant are both fit for next week as well, which is really good. I said last week in the interview, I think that we've had a lot of individual success that we've had to hold on to and grasp onto, but actually now a nice positive team performance where we can all enjoy each other's success again, and actually enjoy winning a game of cricket, because ultimately that's why we're all here.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll be trying to win plenty more in that one day cup competition. Like you say, if Joe Denley comes back in with you guys, you've got that experience, you've got some young lads to come into the team as well. It feels like you might have a sort of nice blend, and obviously had success in this competition a couple of years ago too.
Yeah, I'll certainly be leaning on Dennis to ask what he did a couple of years ago and try and emulate that really throughout the comp. Yeah, we've got a really nice mix of senior players and some really talented young players in the squad as well. There's obviously Jaden, Joe's nephew, with England under 19s at the moment. Ekan Singh's going to be in and around the squad and probably play a couple of games at the start, which is going to be really exciting. He's gone really well in the twos recently. And just all the lads that are kind of in and around the squad, it gives us a chance to have a little fresh start in a competition. Starting on a level playing field with everybody and hopefully get the ground running to start with rather than trying to pick it up towards the end.
How did you find that 50 over competition last year? You get to obviously play at some quite nice outgrounds, obviously going up to Blackpool and heading over to Beckenham, of course. And there's something about one day cricket and 50 over cricket, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, the schedule's a bit tough. We go from here to Taunton to Blackpool to Beckenham in the space of 6 days. So there's a little bit of a road trip and a bit of time on the bus. But yeah, 50 over cricket's probably the game or the form of the game that we all grew up playing. So It's actually quite nice to go and play it. It's kind of a nice hybrid between the two formats, albeit it's probably leaning a bit more towards the T20 side of things now. It's an enjoyable format of the game, and I know the boys are looking forward to getting the teeth stuck into it.